What is up, everybody? Carl Mitchell here. Excited to show y'all the watering system that I use for my chickens. If y'all have seen any of the videos on my channel, you'll know that I like to set up systems that keep my chickens fed and watered and allow them to be in and out of the coop whenever they need to, so that I can wait for a couple days or whatever. You just know that the chickens are always taken care of. I've been running this system for about a year and haven't had too many problems, but I did unfortunately have a busted pipe in the last freeze. It froze for a couple days, which is unlike this area, but I guess unfortunate for me, but fortunate for y'all. Y'all get to see how I put it together the first time, and just kind of some tips that I have along the way. But hope you enjoy. All right, so the system that y'all saw that I use is actually a gravity fed system. Basically, I fill up the 55-gallon drum, and it runs through the PVC pipe, and as these cups get filled with water, it weighs them down and shuts off the water back here. So as the chickens drink water, it lifts back up and then can fill up with water. Maintains these cups being full of water, just needs to be cleaned out every once in a while. But I've been running the system for a while, and it's been really good up until, of course, y'all saw that we had a freeze for a long time. Not super normal for us, but in order to mitigate that in the future, I'm going to add a valve to the end of the PVC pipe so that I can shut off the water at the drum and then open it up at the end of the PVC pipe to drain all the water out. So hopefully I don't have a failure like that again. But pretty simple to put together. I'll run you through getting it all assembled and then putting it back on the coop and just kind of go a little more in depth on how the system as a whole works. Alright, so I'm definitely far from being a plumber, but I got the job done here anyway. So basically all I did was use these connections to about 6 or so inches apart from each other. I've only got 4 of them. I think the pack comes with 5. I think I broke one by stepping on it on accident or something. But I'll link it up below just so you can check it out for yourself. But I've got this oscillating tool. There is a better tool for cutting PVC pipe, it's like a ratcheting cutter type thing. If you got one of those, that's probably what I suggest, but this works out fine. And if you've never done any sort of plumbing before, you just need the primer and the cement. It comes in a pack at Lowe's generally, but it lasts forever because you only need a little bit at a time, but just throw a little primer on it. Careful because it does stain and comes out really fast. And then once you've got the primer, you just put a little cement on and stick them together, give them a little twist and hold them for a second, and it'll be good to go. If it's going into a high pressure system, it needs longer to rest, but in our case, we're not dealing with too much, so it's not a problem. The only thing that you need to pay attention to when doing this is make sure that the threaded sections line up with each other. So you can see as I've put the threaded parts together, I've been trying to line them up the best I can. It certainly doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure that they're generally in line so that the cups all fill evenly. So of course I'm just adding this onto where I cut it off from where the pipe had busted before. So I've got to kind of finagle my way through some chicken wire and get everything lined up right. The only thing to note, I know most of y'all will be doing this on fresh PVC, but if you do have anything, any kind of dirt or whatever, just make sure to wipe it off so that you get a good bond with the cement and primer and everything for when you are sticking everything together. But the only thing really to note is make sure that you have the threaded part for the cups sticking straight out 90 degrees. But other than that, really, we should be ready to go. You don't have to let it set too long because, like I kind of mentioned earlier, it's not a high pressure system. Just make sure, if you touch the cement or whatever, that it's not tacky or anything like that. But we should be about ready to get some water going. I'll show you real quick though on how I kind of have my drum set up. So while this is filling up, I'll just give a couple pointers here. So the drum You can find them all on Facebook Marketplace. Either that, or I'm sure some of you know people who work somewhere where they get rid of these all the time. This was just used for soap. I cleaned it out real well before using it for anything. Just make sure there's nothing like acidic that it was used for, because it is a little tricky to get in there and get them cleaned with just like the two holes that are on top. I actually plan to turn this into a rain barrel type system that I can still fill with the water hose, but also run some gutters down the side of my coop that can drop down into this. So stick around for that. Not sure when that'll happen yet, but and then for this bulkhead fitting here, this is, unfortunately I don't have a video to show, but the way that I install this, and I'll put the link to the one that I used, but the threaded piece here pops through from the inside, and so basically all you got to do is drill your hole that you need into the side of the barrel, and then from the top run a string or run a wire or something that you can hold on to from the top, and that sticks out of this hole, and then just drop this threaded piece down onto that wire and you can pull it through. And once you pull it through, it sits pretty tight in the hole, so you don't really have to hold on to it. And then there's like a rubber piece similar to the cups that then you can thread this onto, and then thread on the actual fitting. And then I got this adapter that screws into it. That's just a slip fitting for the PVC pipe. But that system right there, don't let that intimidate you, I guess. I did a little bit of research before doing this because I was like, how is this supposed to hold water? But it's really not that bad. Pretty simple thing to use. If you need more of an explanation, I guess, then I can probably do a demonstration with a different piece. But then all I did was run PVC pipe down the side. It made more sense for me to put all my stuff outside. The chickens generally have access to outside when they're not sleeping, and I think she's ready for some water. But other than that, the system's real simple. You could put it inside your coop. It's just really messy. So I generally keep like a backup water in the coop, but it doesn't get used very often, so it keeps water for a long time, because generally they're out here using this during the day, and it just works out really well. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it. Let's fill it up. And so you can see as the water comes into the cups, it drops them down and just shuts the water off and just keeps the water consistent level. You do have to kind of dump them out and clean them out every now and then. Make sure that they're staying clean for the chickens. But just testing out the valve there for winter time. But other than that, that's all there is to it. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Obviously, the chickens love it. They'll figure it out really quick. You know, it's bright orange. They're curious animals anyway, so don't worry about them knowing where the water is if you decide to implement the system. And you can use this with like there's versions of the same thing where you can just use it with a normal bucket. You don't have to use the whole PVC system. It's just what worked with what I was wanting to do. But yeah, if there's any questions that you'll have or any projects you want to see, just let me know.